Hey, Bayek, it's me, and it's, well, another Hammer film time. Yes, it is the very last Studio Canal release that I'm going to review that I've got, and I think I have got them all. This is Straight On Till Morning from 1972. Now, it's a very different film. This is another of those films where Hammer is changing, and it's there's nothing like it. I don't think nothing like it in this uh, time period. You could say it does hark back to some of the early '60s thrillers that they did, but anyhow, we'll look at that in a bit. Okay, so it's 96 minutes long. There's no Rotten Tomatoes thing. I don't know whether that's a good or bad thing. I think it says that they really didn't like this, the critics, which wouldn't surprise me. It's written by John Peacock and it was produced by Michael Carreras. Michael Carreras was the son of the founder of Hammer, James Carreras, and he was one of those who was looking to perhaps change things a bit in terms of directors, move well away from the gothic style and produce these other type of films. Um, so let's talk about the other aspects of this. It's directed by Peter Collinson. We've come across Peter Collinson before. Peter Collinson, he was the director of Up the Junction from 1968 and famously, of course, The Italian Job from 1969. He was also director of Fright from 1971, which I've discussed is one of these British sort of thriller horrors starring Susan George, that one did. So he brings a different dimension in his style a bit as well to the Hammer styles, and in terms of the way it's filmed and edited and directed. It's slightly different. You can see there's a different difference, and it's very much of that sort of vibrant 70s look, but it almost have got a European kind of look, and some people have actually compared it with Giallo in its style, which I can see that, because if you didn't know it was a Hammer film, you may not think it was a Hammer film. That's it is. Interestingly enough, this was a double bill with Fear in the Night. Yes, that from 1971. So Hammer are really showing a lot of well, the where they're going, the new direction. So Fear in the Night. Wow, what a film that was. Same year as this, as a double bill. Anyhow, let's get on to the cast, because the cast is the important thing, and I think it is dominated by the two lead actors. And well, Rita Tushingham, she plays Brenda, and she is, honestly, she is fantastic. She makes this film in many ways, her performance. Not that the other actor doesn't, but for Hammer to get a quality actress like Rita Tushingham is great. It really was a great coup for them, and they must have been so pleased. And she doesn't let down at all in her performance. It's a wonderful performance. It really is. She was going back to 1961, Taste of Honey. She was in Dr. Zhivago, 1965. She was in a whole host of these wonderful 60s films, and she carried on working. She's still working today. And her last film that I noticed that I really connected with, because it's a favorite of mine, is Last Night in Soho from 2021. She's in that. Wow, what a journey. Fantastic. It really is. And Then the other actor who is important, very important to this film, is Shane Bryant. Now he plays Peter. Peter, yes, a very important character to this film. He was in Demons of the Mind, 1972. And if you remember, in Demons of the Mind, he was quite an interesting character in that. He had this like kind of incestuous relationship suggested out with his sister, his twin sister, apparently. Let's call them twin sisters. But he played the role really interestingly. He has this angelic look about him, but underneath that, there's this evil, which fits perfectly into this serial killer mode and manners, which we see right from Peeping Tom, Psycho, right through in this kind of film. And that's maybe why it fits into the Giallo kind of film. So there we are. He's brilliant at that. He was also in Captain Kronos, the Vampire Hunter from 1974. Then he was in the very last Frankenstein film that Hammer did, Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell from 1974. Wonderful film with Peter Cushing, of course, in his final time as the Baron. Yes, brilliant stuff. But yeah, those two lead characters are really what make the film, and they build up just the way they interact with each other is fantastic. Then we've got a host of other actors who really have very small roles. We've got, interestingly enough, James Boland playing Joey. James Boland was really known for TV work, though he did do some films. A film he did was a spin-off from his TV series, The Likely Lads, 1976. But going back to the 60s, Likely Lads, then there was The Return of the Likely Lads. Other comedy series that I noticed, Only When I Laugh, which is I quite enjoyed that one. That was from 1982. I've seen that a lot on repeat. It's quite funny, but it wouldn't be made today, I don't think. And so many different roles he's been in, right up to even now he's still working. But he was quite big in BBC series New Tricks, which had Dennis Waterman actually in that as well. New Tricks was very popular, and he was in that. Then we've got Katia With, I think that's how you pronounce it. She plays Caroline. She was in A Clockwork Orange, 1971. Hands of the Ripper, Hammer film, 1971. And Twins of Evil. Oh yes, Twins of Evil from 1971. What a film that is, a real brilliant film. She was in those, and she has an effective role in this film. It's to say it's not that big, but it's very effective. Also, we've got Tom Bell. He plays Jimmy. Tom Bell, well, a lot of TV work with him. Films of note, I think, is Wish You Were Here from 1987 and The Craze from 1990 with the Kemp twins. Yes, the Kemp twins. Spandau Ballet away as the Craze. Yes, that's quite a popular film. And some people think, actually, despite all the Tom Hardy stuff, is the Craze film. Anyhow, that's it. We'll see what people make of that. The music I just want to mention, the music is by Roland Shaw, and adding to the music is a very jazz feel, and that works well. The whole thing about of London is really interesting. The shots we get of it, the locations. There isn't a great deal of locations, but there is some location shooting in there. And the interior and the designs, they're all very similar. You sit there thinking, wow, 70s, I'm back in a time machine. It's excellent stuff. Absolutely. It's an interesting contrast with the North at the beginning. We get the northern scenes as well, which is fantastic. I really, really enjoyed that, seeing that contrast. So, what is this film about? We have got Brenda. She's quite a timid kind of, you know, withdrawn. She's there, living in Liverpool, and she decides to go down to London. You know, we all do. Going down to London, why not? You know, searching for the dream, streets paved with gold. But we find out actually she deceives her mother, saying she's looking for a father for a child, that she's pregnant, but she says that she isn't pregnant. But she wants to get pregnant. She wants to meet a man and have a baby with. Now, unfortunately for her, uh, she does meet eventually Peter. Yes, and Peter is, well, he's got this, she sees him as handsome and beautiful man. What a catch. And he seems quite rich as well, independent. And, well, there he is. But of course, he's hiding underneath all that. This angelic figure is in evil. Well, you can call him a serial killer, because we see that how he's killed all these past people who've had relationships with him. And also the terrible scene when he kills the dog as well. That is really brutal. You obviously don't see it, but the screams. And it's interesting as well. He's interesting, which again takes you back to like Peeping Tom. He records on tape these killings. Yes, and we just think in Peeping Tom, we had him, the serial killer, recording with his camera. They, when he was killing them. This is another interesting aspect that the director has obviously taken in. So his whole style is very different from what we get at the Hammer, and the way it's put together and the editing but it works. I think it works. As I say, you wouldn't even believe that it was a Hammer film. But the film, I think what some people won't like about this film, and I can see it now, is that they think the pacing is very slow, the build-up. And yet I think that helps. It needs to be like that. It needs to have that pace. As you get more and more into what is going to inevitably happen, and I think that works well. You don't have to have big wham bam, thank you, ma'am, getting on with it and killing. Also, when you get the flashbacks as well, that is fascinating. You just get the way that they're edited in, seeing what, going back to the past. It works well. Again, you could argue this is a lot more character study in some areas, a psychological look as well. It's all here, and this doesn't seem like Hammer at all, does it? It doesn't. You're thinking, is this Hammer? Yeah, it is Hammer, but it's way, way away from Gothic horror. Oh yeah, this is the modern world. This is more what is going on in the modern world, and it's not even the swinging kind of world of Dracula AD 1972. No, it's not even that. No, we've not got that at all. I think when we look at it, you can argue that it's an heroic failure in terms of what Hammer becomes. The ending is very bleak, and often in Hammer we didn't have that bleakness, but the ending is very bleak, and it just ends like that, and you sort of thinking, oh yes, I won't tell you how it ends, but I think you may get an idea. watching the film. But it was never repeated, this kind of film like that, and the direction. But I think it's a great thing to have in your Hammer collection, and it's enjoyable. And you'll look back and watch it and think, yes, if you accept what it is, you'll enjoy it. And I think the film is worth it for Rita Tushingham. Totally, totally fantastic performance. And that's it. I think I'll just quickly show you. Here it is, the studio canal of the release. I've got my slip cover, the slip cover there. And then we've got the back. And then inside, we've got the usual disc there, the Blu-ray, and a DVD under there. And there is one documentary on here, which is fantastic. Highly recommended, the documentary. Definitely watch it. Yes, watch it. So that's it. Well, yeah. If you're new to the channel, or not so new and haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We'll let you know when I produce more of these videos. Also, if you like it, please give it a like. It helps with algorithms, and other people then might, because they want to watch these videos, or perhaps they won't, and it all costs note. So you can't say fairer than that if it costs note, can you? Hey, by heck, they can't. Nah. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I love to read your comments, I really do. It's fantastic. I really love reading them. And yeah, that's it. So, all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.